A pleasure to meet all at last, and well, it's time for some more HJN material. And I have gone through 12 episodes already throughout this whole season. Now we're going to hit up with a 13th episode, known as Graveyards. Kind of strange, I went from zombies to graveyards. That's probably something that I didn't quite mention in that episode, that with most cases relating to zombie apocalypses, it shows the dead rising from their graves, which is a high likelihood of how it can come to be. Although for the most part, a virus or another type of organism that shifts the living to the dead is partly more common, especially with more recent media entailing to a potential zombie outbreak occurring from a certain disease that had been accidentally deployed. So, it's that kind of controversial stuff that unfortunately is still of high relevance today, in media at the very least. But, here's what I can say. Graveyards are in fact sites of land where people are in fact buried below the ground as a means of preservation, but more importantly as a means of dealing the reality with death, and mourning a loved one who had in fact succumbed to a certain condition, whether it's a series of injuries or disease or natural causes. No matter what it is, no matter how it goes, and no matter why it happened, everybody is unfortunately bound for this very last course of life itself. So eventually, it begins again. As we've heard in The Lion King, the circle of life is essentially where it starts at birth, then goes to death on the other side, and then circles back to birth. Essentially speaking, there's always the chance we'll have somebody to remember, and somebody to come in and keep us company. Like, as we know, Samson the Pug, for instance. He unfortunately succumbed to diabetes after fighting for about 15 straight months. I mean, 2019 was just a really bad year. But Samson has truly found peace within himself, and we've found peace in our own life. With him basically no longer fighting it, we can now move on and hopefully start anew. I mean, that's why we got Choo Choo and Crayfish with us, which you've probably seen them both at some point in history. But no matter what the case is, there's always a place for them to go, should we ever have a place to physically see them. Now, while we won't ever see their bodies, we will definitely see a large stone that's placed on the ground. A stone that has their name carved, the dates of birth and death, as well as various texts known as eulogies and epitaphs. Now, while I have mentioned epitaphs are in fact forms of text, maybe more specifically, an epitaph is simply put a title that does in fact refer to someone's occupation in life, whether it has to do with them being parents, or them having a good job, or with them having a big career, such as an athlete. And then, of course, there's a variety of other things that are engraved on these stones. But more importantly, there's a number of different stones located typically in a land that's at least 1 acre in size. And these are simply known as graveyards. But they can also be called cemeteries and burial grounds, by all accounts. And so, I guess this was a pretty good subject to talk about, and more importantly to follow up on a few other subjects I've talked about in past episodes. I guess with the connection with zombies, it does only make sense that I do follow up on that episode in particular with something like this. And then, of course, a variety of other things. Well, I guess this is pretty much it. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side if you'd like to see more.